इसको कट भी नहीं कर सकता because I'm doing live right now. And I have read this particular book, As the Man Thinketh, and I'm gonna share the summary of this particular book. And I have another book in my hand, which is Attitude is Everything, that I'm gonna read just from today itself. So in coming forward is gonna see the next summary about this particular book, Attitude is Everything. And before this particular book, I have read the book which is Life's Amazing Book by Gaur Gopal Das, and I have shared the whole summary on my YouTube channel. Yeah, absolutely. So let's begin this particular live as well with a with a note of I'm pretty so sorry for getting any kind of disturbance from my side because I cannot control those things. So let's come ahead because I would love to say one thing. Definitely, I don't have a great background and a mic setup and all. Right then, like I'm getting some kind of disturbances from out there. So definitely, it may disturb you a little bit, but I'm really, really sorry for that. But let's come back over here. So I'm gonna share the. I mean, the book is about thought process, how our thought like impact our whole life, related to even our health, related to the dream and all those things, how it impact. So let's I'm gonna share the content. What is the content over here? The very first chapter over is about thought and character, and the next thing is that effect of thoughts on circumstances, and the third one is that effect of thought on health and body, and the fourth one is that thought and purpose, and the fifth one is that the thought factor in achievement, and the sixth one is that vision and ideals, and the last one is that serenity. So the very chapter I'm just gonna begin with the one of the quote that has been written over here about the chapter number one, thought and character, which is as being a power, intelligence, and a love, and the lord of his own thoughts, man holds the key to every situation and contains within himself the transforming and regenerative agency by which he may make himself and what he will. So basically the thing is that everyone have that power or intelligence or the love that we are creating every situation for ourselves. So whatsoever in our life we are getting, that's we are creating by own self. That's what this whole thing is saying that. So let's begin with the very first note, which is thought and character. And it's about when you think about something na, then how it is actually building your character. That may be a good character, that may be a bad character. So you have to be conscious while you are thinking about something, right? You don't have to think about a bad thing, because ultimately it's gonna create yourself. So why we have to think like that? I'm gonna change this filter. I'm sorry, but I'm getting over there. Let's little bit. Okay, it's good to go. Great. Okay, come back over here. So thought and character, like by the right choice and the true application of your thought, man ascend the divine perfection. Right. By the abuse and wrong application of thought, he descend below the level of the beast. सिंपल सी बात है कि अगर आप अपने थॉट को अच्छा रखते हो तो आप अच्छे करते हो और अच्छी चीज़ों की तरफ जाते हो. अगर अपने थॉट को बुरा रखते हो, जिस तरफ भी रखते हो बुरा या अच्छा, उस तरफ आप जाते हो. दैट्स ऑल. सो व्हाई नॉट टू हैव अ ग्रेट थॉट इन आवर माइंड, राइट? व्हाई नॉट टू थिंक बेटर? व्हाई नॉट टू like think for the good, right? For everyone. That's a basic thing. Okay, and like the second chapter is about effect of thought on circumstances. So, how the thought that we think can create a circumstances that actually maybe we like or we don't like, right? So, see, man's mind be linked to a garden, right? Which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. सिंपल सी बात है, हमारा जो माइंड है एक गार्डन की तरह है। अगर आप उस गार्डन की देखभाल करोगे, अच्छे बीज उसमें बोओगे, तो आपको अच्छी चीज़ें उसमें से निकलेगी। अगर आप अपने गार्डन में गुलाब का फूल लगाते हो तो गुलाब का फूल ही मिलेगा आपको। बट अगर आप अपने गार्डन में कुछ नहीं लगाओगे ना, तो अनवांटेड जो चीज़ें होती है, जिसे हम जंगल बोलते हैं, झाड़ पात बोलते हैं, वो सब उग जाएंगे। राइट, तो दैट्स व्हाट विद आवर माइंड, सेम थिंग गोज विद दैट। राइट, कि अगर आप अपने माइंड को अच्छा रखते हो, अच्छे थॉट के साथ अच्छे थॉट्स में सीड करते हो, और उसी रेगुलरली, मतलब जैसे हम पानी देते हैं, उसकी देख रेख करते हैं, वो सारी चीज़ें आप अपने थॉट पे करते हो, अपने आप को अपडेट करने पे करते हो, तो लॉन्ग टर्म में आपको बेनिफिट देता है। वही चीज़ होता है अगर आप नहीं ध्यान देते हो ना, तो बहुत सारे अनवांटेड चीज़ें आपके माइंड में आ जाती। दैट्स नॉट प्रीटी गुड फॉर यू circumstances. It's gonna create your circumstances, right? So that's what I just wanted to say. Now, here one of the thing that I have that has been I heard over there, it like good thoughts bear good fruit, right? And bad thoughts bear bad fruit. It's as simple as we can say that, right? And next thing, like circumstances does not make it the man, it reveals him on himself. And ये बहुत ही अच्छी चीज़ लगा मुझे। लाइक सर्कमस्टांसेस ना आपको कभी भी नहीं बनाती है कि आप जिस तरीके के लाइक पर्सनालिटी हो। सर्कमस्टांसेस आपको वो जो जिस तरीके की भी आप पर्सनालिटी हो ना, वो अंदर से निखारती है। जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना कि पैसा आपको गरीब या अमीर नहीं बनाती है, पैसा आपको आप जो अंदर से है ना, वो आपको जब आपके पास ज़्यादा पैसे आते हैं वो दिखाती है कि हाँ आप अंदर से किस तरीके की पर्सनालिटी है। या जब आपके पास पैसे नहीं होते हैं तो भी दिखता है कि आप एक्चुअली में किस तरीके की पर्सनालिटी है। राइट, सो द सेम थिंग इज अ हियर कि सर्कमस्टांसेस किसी भी पर्सन को नहीं बनाता, सर्कमस्टांसेस उस पर्सन को रिवील करता है फ्रॉम इनसाइड। I'm sorry for that. Yeah. Let's go ahead with the next thing, which is men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. मतलब हम लोग वो अट्रैक्ट नहीं करते हैं जो हम चाहते हैं, बल्कि हम वो अट्रैक्ट करते हैं जो हमें। एंड इवन आई जस्ट हैव shared this particular thing on my podcast or in my YouTube some of the month or weeks earlier, right? And definitely you are not, you are not who you want to be, you are who you are, you are who you are. That's what, right? It's great, great, great. मतलब कैसा है, आप वो नहीं हो जो आप बनना चाहते हो, आप वो हो जो हो। हिंदी में that's what it simply means. Awesome. Okay. Now, suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. मतलब हम किसी भी चीज़ से सफ़र कर रहे होते हैं ना, बिकॉज वी आर हैविंग दैट पर्टिकुलर थॉट in going in some direction, right? For example, you have some good thought going in a good direction, then maybe feeling oh great, having a great kind of what do you say that environment basically. But at the same time, the emotion and the thought that you have right now is not actually pulling you back. That definitely it's become a kind of stuff after some period of time. So that's what. Okay, next thing is a very big it's kind of essay, so I'm gonna read it over here. But yeah, I'm gonna read one thing over here. Law, not confusion, is the dominating principle in the universe. Just listen it carefully. Law, not a confusion, is the dominating principle in the universe. Justice, not injustice, is the soul and substance of life. And rightedness, not corruption, is the molding and moving force in the spiritual government of the world. That's a really great line. Like, if we have to go through some kind of flaws that we have to go ahead and move forward in the life, but we have any kind of confusion that actually is stopping us to not to go forward for that particular thing. The same thing, justice and about injustice. So definitely we have to follow the justice and kind of thing. So it's a very basic thing that we need to understand. That actually the thought that we have in our mind, that actually creating the circumstances and have the effect on the circumstances. For example, there are two people facing the same kind of situation, but may have the different kind of emotional feeling that they have. For example, if someone is going with some kind of health situation, right? And at the same time the thought process of that particular person has been like, oh my god, I'm going through this kind of pain in my body, I'm not able to just sustain or even be with this particular pain, then he or she'll be going to get the same kind of thing again and again, and it's like it's sometime it's after some time maybe it's gonna be a kind of suffering, but at the same time another person feels like, okay, it's a kind of pain, I don't have to take it as a suffering, so okay, it's a temporary and after some time I'm gonna be good. Right? So for that person the situation is, I mean, for both the persons situation is same, but the emotional things and you can say the thought process is entirely different, so we must have to be uh, conscious about while we are thinking about anything, right? That's what I just wanted to say. Next thing which is about, अब देखो हमने सोचा कि हमारी जो सोच होती है थॉट एंड कैरेक्टर कैसे बनाती है, वो थॉट का और उस कैरेक्टर का हमारे सिचुएशन पे हमारे सर्कमस्टांसेस पे क्या इफ़ेक्ट होता है। नेक्स्ट थिंग है कि अब उस इफेक्टिव थॉट ऑन आवर हेल्थ एंड द बॉडी, कि जो भी हमारी सोच होती है, जो भी हम सोचते हैं उसका हमारे बॉडी पे किस तरीके का इफ़ेक्ट होता है। सो बहुत ही बेसिक चीज़ लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे, वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग, लाइक the body is the servant of the mind. It obeys the operation of mind, whether they are deliberately chosen or automatically expressed. मतलब हमारा सिंपल सी बात है, हमारा जो बॉडी होता है सर्वेंट होता है हमारे माइंड का, तो हमारे माइंड में जो भी चीज़ें ऑपरेट कर रही होती हैं कॉन्शियसली और सबकॉन्शियसली, वो हमारे बॉडी पे दिखती है, राइट? सो दैट्स व्हाई एट द बिगिनिंग आई जस्ट से दैट वी हैव टू बी कॉन्शियस व्हाइल वी थिंकिंग अबाउट एनीथिंग, राइट? Okay, and I have some of the great thing, but the whole thing is about that. Okay, I'm gonna read this particular thing. See, change of diet will not help a man who will not change his thought. मतलब मान लो कोई चाहता है कि मेरे को अपना बॉडी बिल्डिंग करना है, राइट? बट उसकी सोच में चेंजेस नहीं हो रहा है, तो कितना अच्छा से अच्छा वो डाइट कर लेना, his body is not going to be like that as I just want it to be, right? But when his thought process started changing now, then diet definitely going to change. Now next thing which is about thought and purpose, जो भी हम सोच रहे होते हैं उसका पर्पस से हमारा क्या कनेक्शन है और पर्पस का होना क्यों ज़रूरी है, is very important. Like until thought is linked with a purpose, there is no intelligent accomplishment. तो जब भी हमारे थॉट के साथ कोई भी पर्पस अगर लिंक नहीं होता है ना, तो वहाँ पे फिर कुछ ही हमारा इंटेलिजेंस एकम्प्लिशमेंट नहीं होता, कुछ भी हमें गेन नहीं होता है, राइट? सो वी हैव टू लाइक डेफिनेटली जब भी हम कुछ सोच रहे होते हैं ना, तो मेजॉरिटी ऑफ चीज़ें अगर हमारी फेवर में हो, दैट्स रियली ग्रेट, ताकि वो हमें हेल्प करे हमारे पर्पस को जस्ट सेटिस्फाई और टू जस्ट अकम्प्लिश दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग, राइट? Okay, so next particular thing, as the physical weak man can make himself strong by careful and patient training, so a man of a weak thought can make them strong by exercising himself in a right thinking. तो जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि अगर कोई वीक पर्सन है फिजिकली, वो अगर ट्रेनिंग और अच्छे से डाइट वाइट करता है, अपनी सोच को ठीक रखता है, तो उसकी चीज़ें अच्छी हो जाएंगी, बॉडी सेम लाइक दैट। कि अगर आपका सोच अगर अच्छा नहीं है ना, तो आपको प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा पेशेंस के साथ राइट थिंकिंग का, तो आप धीरे धीरे अच्छे सोचने लग जाओगे। दैट्स व्हाट द बेसिक थिंग। आई एम ऑन द आई बिलीव सेकेंड लास्ट चैप्टर, या थॉट, द थॉट फैक्टर इन अचीवमेंट। हमारे थॉट फैक्टर का क्या इंपॉर्टेंस होता है हमारे अचीवमेंट में, एंड द वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग इज ओवर देयर, all that a man achieve and all that he fails to achieve is the direct result of his own thought. सिंपल सी बात है, अगर हम कुछ भी अचीव कर पाते हैं या नहीं कर पाते हैं, दैट इज़ द रिजल्ट ऑफ आवर ओन थॉट, कि हमारी सोच क्या होती है। एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस बुक इज ऑल अबाउट थॉट। सो सी, अ मैन कैन राइज, conquer and achieve by lifting up his thought. He can only remain weak and abject and miserable by refusing to lift up his thought. तो अगर आप अपनी थॉट को ना अपग्रेड नहीं कर पा रहे हो ना, तो आप वहीं पे स्टैग्निंग रह जाओगे, आगे नहीं बढ़ पाओगे, in terms of, you can say, growth or a progress. Yeah. Okay, now I am the second last, sorry, I am the second last chapter, which is vision and ideals, which is why we have to have a vision in our life. And the very first like thing over here is that the dreamers are the saviors of the world. राइट, सो बी ए विजनरी पीपल. अगर हम जो भी इस वर्ल्ड में देख रहे हैं ना, जो भी हमारे चीज़ों को फैसिलिटेट करा रही है, जो भी हमारे मतलब हमें फैसिलिटी मिल रही है इन टर्म्स ऑफ स्मार्टफोन, इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाटएवर द न्यूटन्स लॉ एंड ऑल, राइट, वो क्या थी? एक ड्रीम थी, एक विज़न था, राइट. और वो विज़न इस पूरी पृथ्वी को बोलो, अर्थ को बोलो, एक ह्यूमैनिटी को स्पेसिफिकली बोलो कि एक वो सारी चीज़ें से रूबरू कराया और हमें हेल्प आउट करा कि हम उस चीज़ को रील कर पाएँ, अवेल कर पाएँ, राइट. दैट्स व्हाट. ओके, इन ऑल ह्यूमन अफेयर्स देयर आर एफर्ट्स एंड देयर आर रिजल्ट्स, and the strength of the effort is the measure of the result. Yeah, absolutely. And this is the last chapter, which is about serenity. Calmness of a mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of a long and a patient effort in self control. So definitely जो calmness दिखता है ना लोगों में, जो या calmness दिखता है जब भी आप वैसे लोगों के सराउंडिंग में रहते हो, जो यू कैन से दैट ना, वो लाइक इनलाइटमेंट तो शायद बोल सकते हो, जो लोग थोड़े या पूरे तरीके से इनलाइटेंड होते हैं, मतलब उनकी आप सराउंडिंग में जाती हो तो डेफिनेटली आपकी एनर्जी, आपकी जो आपके पास जो एक्साइटमेंट होता है या जो भी चीज़ होती है, आपकी एनर्जी में डेफिनेटली वो इंक्रीमेंट हो ही जाता है. सो दैट्स व्हाट द होल समरी ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर बुक. जेम्स एलन is author of this particular book as The Man Thinketh, and it's pretty good book, pretty good book. And I believe it's a best seller. Some early it was actually, so it's very great book about the thinking process, how actually our mind think, how it has an impact on our life and all. So it's very good book to start with. Now I'm gonna read this particular book from today itself. So for this particular live, thank you so much. We'll be meeting in the next coming live after maybe completing or maybe in between this particular reading in this particular book. Thank you so much. We'll be meeting in the next live. Thank you so much once again.